Welcome to Get Moving TV. I'm Dr. Chris Landon and I serve as your host. Here in Ventura, through this program, we've been able to uncover lots of resources, everything from prosthetics for Planet of the Apes, innovation centers, 13-year-old girls inventing new apps to look at food allergy, especially to peanuts for little Haley. But we also have tremendous programs of education here. We have California Lutheran, Cal State Channel Islands, Ventura College, Oxnard College. One of the things, though, as a physician, when I first came here, I was brought to the emergency room for a child with asthma. And the parents did not speak Spanish. They didn't speak English. They spoke an Indian dialect. And so trying to get across to them, trying to get that health message, how to use that nebulizer, this set me on a lifelong quest to increase health literacy for these people for whom your strawberry would cost $5 a strawberry if we didn't have their assistance in the fields. So today with me, hopefully at the end of a long 25-year quest at trying to work on this problem, is Gabriel. I met Gabriel at the fundraiser that we had for the TechYo scholarships for the Mixteco. And Gabriel gave a talk. He has a scholarship. He'll be going to UC Santa Barbara in mid-September. Yes. But I was asking him today, well, Gabriel, we're going to run these lower thirds underneath. And what's your last name?
My last name is, we don't have last name because our last name were erased when Spaniards came in our continent or in our village. And they gave us a last name, which is my last name right now is Mendoza, and Espinosa. And we don't have meaning for last name, even our name, because like my name means like something about God, but also I don't know about God anymore. But right now, like we don't have last name, and like I don't know, we don't have meaning about it. Because like our identity were erased, like even when they came, and the only we have right now is our language. Our language, even it's the language is the only we have. The costumes, all clothes, everything. Our codex were gone, and we're here surviving with our culture. With it's not, but. Language is the only one we have right now.
So when you say, so take us back 600 years. Yes. What was it like in Oaxaca and Guerrero, and right now we have the Oaxacitas out picking my strawberries, but this is a whole different part of Mexico. You're in a different social environment, and this is the history that you don't want to lose, and we don't want to erase. So being culturally sensitive for us, I have to recognize that. So tell me about the Mixteco people and
in Oaxaca.
In Oaxaca,
okay.
and what it was like 600 years ago. The history that you're trying to keep, and that feeling of cultural identity that you want to keep.
Yes. I think like our ancestors, they fought, like they trying to protect our culture, because they're trying to have our clothes, our belief, our God, our everything, our language, and our codex, which is important, what is story about. And now in Oaxaca, it's different. It's different. I born there. I know the language means don't sabi. I know. I speak it, and like people is very different right now. They don't want to be brown. They want to be white. They don't. I feel, and even if some people saying I'm wrong, because I speak to them. And some of them they don't like their own language, which is not necessary. That's it, and which for me is very important, because you can create a lot of stuff. You can communicate with people, and even you can create a big poetry or writing. You can make a lot of short stories, and it's beautiful, but it's hard in this like people want to learn more English than is in Spanish, and people want to be like here, not here. They say so.
Well, we want to communicate.
Yes.
And so we sent Dr. Carlos O'Brien and Dr. Maria Arizmendi down there. They spent 2 weeks trying to learn Mixteco, and phonetically, they showed me the fence. There's a phonetic version of Mixteco, and it says, basically, it translates to this way to the bar.
Yes.
So that's about all the Mixteco they were able to learn in 2 weeks. So when you gave your thank you address to the MyCop fundraising event, you gave it in English, Spanish, and Mixteco, and I felt the passion in every word and in every language. So your plans at UC Santa Barbara, and what do you see for yourself in the future? And I think there are 20 TechUO scholars there.
Yes.
So UC Berkeley, to the local junior colleges, Cal State Channel Islands. So what is it that you see? What are you preparing yourself for?
Oh, okay. I think like that speech that I gave in my cup in the Noche en Oaxaca, I think that represents all of us, not only myself. That represents the 20 people, the 20 students, also the community who were there. And for me, like I was thinking, like I want to be professor, history professor. Also, I want to know all the history in Latin America and how, like, our culture as well, Mixteco. I want to write our own books to share with the community, to know their own history. I want to be a leader. I want to be a leader who can make leaders from Mixteco community and documented community, like immigrant community. And that is very important for me because like even here in Mexico, sometimes we don't feel home because nobody care. Doesn't matter, they don't care about us. But what I mean is when sometimes we go in stores, they treat us, they discriminate us. And it's hard to believe in society which we want to be part of, but they don't want to be us to be part of that society. And that's why we had to create a new world for us, but we had to create for us ourselves. We had to create leaders, like a Mixteco leaders, like a little students, farm workers, students. We had to create leaders to speak up for us, and I think that's how I see it in the future. Yes.
Well, one of the things that I'll be working on is the radio station Radio Indigena. So there's an opportunity for people in the community to speak, an opportunity to hear music that's your own, and on radio where you can listen in the fields, listen at home, abuelitas, or on Sundays can hear, but it gives me an opportunity for health literacy too, to give messages about health, about getting vaccines and prenatal care and getting ready for school and resources that are available, but in people's native language. I think we really have to be able to do that. Right now, if I bring in a translator and there's Alta, Baja,
Yes.
so there's a high Oaxaca and
Yes.
low Oaxaca and the coastal Oaxaca.
Yes.
And if the translators are not from the same social caste, even though it's left over from times hundreds of years
Yes.
ago, so economically things have gotten squished down for the Mixteco, they'll argue. And I'll have no idea, but it seemed like a simple question.
Yes.
I'm hearing all this,
Yes.
the very musical Mixteco language, but I know there's other things going on. I went down to Oaxaca to speak at the university about asthma, and Sandy Young, who's our nurse practitioner, who really took on providing backpacks to get kids ready for school and really helped get Mixteco, get the MyCop going, the Mixteco program. And I gave my speech on asthma, and I talked in Spanish the whole time. And it was,
Yes.
check sus novios para moco, moco es amarillo, besame no mucho. Check
Yes.
your girlfriends for mucus, and if it's green, don't kiss them, because if you get
Yes.
sick, you'll get asthma. Got laughs pretty much on time. When she spoke, there were 150 people in the room, and not a single word, not a single question, not a clap, not an acknowledgement. And what that told me is that that in Oaxaca, you have the same social discrimination going on. So coming here and finding Trump wanting to put up a wall
Yes.
and ICE and all those things. So how old were you when you came from Mexico?
I came here when I was 13, and I was like my parents' dreams, because I was a little kid, and they asked me, let's go to the norte. And I don't know what is norte.
North America. Yeah.
I didn't know what is norte. What is norte? And let's go to work. And he said, okay, let's. Well, we crossed the border, everything, and he said, you have to work. And where? In the strawberries. And I don't want to work in the strawberries, but I work a little bit in the strawberries, and then I went to school. And I was afraid of going to school because I didn't speak Spanish, which many people arguing with me, because you're Mexican, why you don't speak Spanish? And like I was like, I don't know. In that time, I was afraid that Spanish is you should, like, if you're Mexican, you should speak Spanish. And now that I'm Mexican, that if you're Mexican, you can speak Mixteco or Mexica or Purépecha or different native language. But yes, I was here. It's a lot of discrimination, and they like. I admire that the first teacher who was there for me. She's from here. She's a white teacher, but she really understands us. She really she gave us a phone number. We can call her if we need anything. But she was a teacher who we can trust. And even it's hard to be here. Even sometimes, like, I don't know, we're Mixteco, we're coming here, we don't know the language, and we have to be accustomed, we have to be in part of this society, but sometimes we need some people who can help us. So yes.
Well, the people I saw in the audience there, Mike Powers, who's head of the county, representatives from the state, from the California Senate, representatives from the federal government, the mayor of Oxnard. So what's happened in the community is they recognize the value and looked at these 20 kids on stage. It's just examples of more to come. That when we have education in Mexico, oftentimes we find my Spanish-speaking patients, it stopped in 3rd grade, or it stopped in 4th grade.
Yes.
And so that limits you educationally. We were talking a little bit earlier about women and the role that machismo that's so present in Mexican society is in the Mixteco as well. Can you talk to that a little bit, just a women's place?
Yes, I really respect women. That's like my mother, my abuelita. I respect them, and they're strong women. Even like it's a lot of domestic violence, a lot of, like, I see it, like, I was born there, and some men like hitting their wife and in front of their kids, and I think it's not good. But we have to, like, I think today is that we have to educate them. People from here, some people who are here, but over there they're no education. They're nothing. So it's like it's cycle. It's still going. Even if we teach them, but we have to, I think, teach them. We have to give them different style of teaching, I think, because teaching them all about books, everything. Sometimes it's hard for people to read a book. Okay, some people give a voucher to the community. Read this, know your right, or know how you can defend about ICE, or know how you can protect your family. It's hard for people who didn't went to school to read a book or a catalog, and that's why some people don't understand, because even if you have to give them a personal oral meetings, something that's, I believe, is working.
Well, when I looked at that stage, I think it was probably about half women, half
Yes,
men who were
yes.
heading off to college. So there's some change there that's
Yes.
helping. But again, because of that oral tradition, that's why I think it's so important for us to support Radio Indigena Ventura County, Radio Indigena MyCop support. So we talked a little bit about colonialism too. I mean, when I go to Africa, in Monrovia, Liberia, it's Samaritan's Purse, and they're building a wonderful hospital. They built a wonderful hospital, but the son of Billy Graham is the one who gets those millions of dollars to put that together. But they're on every single health danger point. They're there. They're helping people out. So in terms of pushing the American culture, the Catholics, of course, were all over Latin America.
Yes.
As Spaniards, a little more violently than others. So how do you not get enculturated? When I as a physician, I see, oh gosh, you're in the United States now. There may be 7 people living in a 1-bedroom house with a landlord who doesn't care for it very well.
Yes.
But I can spend $1 and buy you a Coca-Cola. And so I see these kids gaining weight, or I'll see them stressed in school with the bullying. So what can we do to help health? What can we communicate? How can we support it?
Oh, I think the more important is about meeting. I think meeting is really working, because some community, some people, some families, involved in MyCop, in different organizations, they know about how if you live a little small room with 7 kids or a lot of people, you can there are disease or some different things, and I think it's time to educate them. But in different case, in different alternatives, which Ventura County is you have to be a little bit. You have to have a little money to be to afford or to be in big house, which sometimes many families they can't afford to live in big house. So I don't know.
So housing, nutrition. So
nutrition is they buy the lowest, the cheap fruit or the cheapest everything, because we can afford. We work in the fields. Many people work in the fields so that people who have money to buy their fruits or to buy their vegetables, but they can't afford them to be in their table, which is very sadly, because their own, it's like they can't afford anything. And I know this because I work in the fields, and which is they pay you they pay you nothing, which is, and they argue, they say that you didn't went to school, that's why we don't want to pay you, or you don't speak Spanish, and it's a conflict going in everywhere. It's a society, I think. I don't know.
So do you think of that as colonialism? I mean, here we have this slave culture there.
Yes.
We have the wealthy owners of the farms.
Yes, I feel it's colonialism. I don't know how to say it, but I feel it because even right now, many companies they go Mexico and bring a lot of many communities to work here, and they don't pay like it should pay which is right, and it's very common cases that right now they give it like the food which a lot of diseases, and it's coming like a, I think we're coming in it's like a cycle. We're going again in the back again, which is different times, different idea, different everything, but it's the same thing.
It's the same as the Spaniards 600 years ago.
It's the same thing, which is the company want to exploit the community. The companies, everything want to exploit the poor community, and who's losing? The people of color who they can't afford anything. And a lot of my cousins work in the fields, which is they have like 14, 15 years old, and they can't go to school because they can't. Money is not enough to feed themselves.
Well, Dr. Miguel Cervantes, who's at the head of our Las Islas clinic, worked in the fields, and so you're seeing a way out, and I'm hoping and dragging.
Yes.
Being dragged along with
yes.
20 other young men and women. So we have to. So education is part of the way out.
Yes.
Nutrition is part of the way out.
Yes.
Access to health care is part of the way
Yes.
out. So what else can we do to keep your community together, but learn something from your community too? So at my cop at the Night of Stars,
Yes.
what kinds of things did we come away with from that community in terms of food and clothing and so forth? So what do you bring to us? What are you sharing with us
Okay.
as we're together in
Yes.
society?
Yes. Well, in food, and I don't know. It's hard to because, which is this. I don't know how to answer
Well,
that.
in Oaxaca, when I
Yes.
went, there's a festival all the time.
Yes.
Every night you're there until 10 o'clock at night, midnight talking, and there's music going
Yes.
on. So you bring music,
Yeah, music.
very unique kind of music,
Yes.
poetry,
Yes.
art, food.
Yeah, food. A lot of mole. A lot of different kind of food. Yeah.
So, and what kind of, so in terms of how can we learn from your culture? So there's a blessing there.
Yes.
And the blessing that was, do we need to look to the east?
Oh, I think that's the Mexica.
Yeah.
That's Mexica, but like,
okay.
for us,
What would be equivalent to that?
yes. We, like my ancestors taught me, which is always to be thanks of the Mother of the Earth who give you everything, and Father of the Sun, which they are always there, who feed our family. Even I think they are the important.
So
Yes.
the Mother Earth, who we
Mother
are
Earth.
destroying with pesticides
Yes.
and destroying our atmosphere. The
Yes.
Father, Son, who's providing us with energy. But what was most I
Yes.
realize now it's a Mexica. To looking to the men who work in the fields.
Yes.
And it's part of the blessing. The women
Yes.
who are working at home to prepare the meals. The past, the culture, it's called
Yes.
cultura pasado. So the things that
Yes.
happened in the past, but also to the children in the future. So as you go through UC Santa Barbara and in your summary here, what is it that you're going to bring back?
I really want to, because I had this idea that I want to create leaders who can improve in Oxnard, in Ventura County, and not to fight for their family, also give language and give new culture in Mixteco, which a lot of people, a lot of young people, new generation coming, and they have different. They speak Mixteco. They speak. We can give classes of Mixteco. I'm teaching Mixteco right now, and which is it's important in the community who want to learn Mixteco, who want to know our language, because they are also a chef, which is the women who make a lot of mole or different kind of food in Mixteca, and I think that's very important because I know her a little bit, but she's very good in all this stuff of how to cook a special traditional foods so I think that's important. Yeah.
All right, so Ventura, we want to thank Gabriel for joining us. I really need to raise money for Radio Indigena. We're going to be working very hard to set up podcasting classes so that I can capture Gabriel and the other 20 scholarship recipients, really talking about things that are important not just to their culture, and having a food show I think would be pretty important too, but also being able to hear in their native language, hear their native music, and really retain their culture while they're present in ours, while they're doing such a great service to our table as we move things from farm to table. They are very, very much a part of it. I really want to see vans with seat belts instead of seeing people piled up in the back of pickup trucks on their way out to the fields. Adequate hydration in the fields. We see lots and lots of chronic kidney disease because of dehydration. I really want to see good access to medical care where there's a medical team that can speak Mixteco and is familiar with cultures and can enjoy it the way I do. One of my patients bring in moles as well. So Ventura, it's time for you to get moving.
El buen jardinero sabrá lo que hay que hacer. Me dará su amor para crecer. El buen jardinero sabrá lo que hay que hacer. Necesito amor para crecer. Necesito amor para crecer.